Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ Bhagavata-sevayā. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtake. Durlabha manasho deho dehinam shana bhangurai. Tatrapi durlabham manye vaikuntha priya darshana. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for joining. So, going forward from today onwards, we will pray for the atrocities going on in Bangladesh against the Hindus. They are destroying the temples, they are destroying the people, looting, killing, destroying the deities, books, and like the mob, and causing a lot of harm to the lives of innocent people based on religious minorities. So let's sincerely pray to Lord Nrsimhadev, Lord Krishna, to please help the devotees going through a lot. A few devotees have been killed, significant damage to property, to the lives of many people, and women, children. Many are in hospitals. So let's sincerely pray for their safety, and so Lord can intervene in this situation and through his different agents and keep everyone safe. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Nirame Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kasyat Dukha Bhaveet. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And let's dedicate today's session for their protection and safety by reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, by remembering Śrī Krishna, so Lord can be merciful upon all the people going through a lot of challenges in Bangladesh, the Hindu minorities, and a lot of people are going through a tough time. So let's pray for their safety by reading Bhagavatam, and let's dedicate this reading to them. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 21, the Dynasty of Bharata. We read till text number 6 yesterday, and we were discussing about Rantidev, the great personality in this dynasty. And just to give a brief background, 48 days he had been fasting, completely dependent on the Lord, not only him, his family as well. And after 48 days, someone brought nice prasadam with ghee, opulent bhoga, but suddenly came a Brahmana who was very hungry. So he treated Brahmana with a lot of adar and shraddha. We're discussing these two words, respect and veneration with faith. And then let's see what happens further. So he gave half of the food to him, the Brahmana who was hungry. So text number 7. Athanyo bhuksyamanasya vibhaktasya mahipate vibhaktam vyabhajatasmai vrishalaya harim smaran. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thereafter, having divided the remaining food with his relatives, Rantidev was just about to eat his own share when a Shudra guest arrived. Seeing the Shudra in relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, King Rantidev gave him also a share of food. Purport: because King Rantidev saw everyone as a part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he never distinguished between the Brahmana and the Shudra, the poor and the rich. Such equal vision is called Sama Darshinaha, Panditaha Sama Darshinaha. one who has actually realized that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated in everyone's heart, and that every living being is part of the Lord, does not make any distinction between the Brahmana and the Shudra, the poor, the Ridra, and the rich, Dhani. Such a person sees all living beings equally and treats them equally without discrimination. Hare Krishna. So in this verse, we see guest number 2. So guest number 1 was the Brahmana. Brahmanas are certainly higher in their culture and qualities than compared to Shudra. Now, Rantidev treated very well the Brahmana, but he not only treated the Brahmana very well, he treated the Shudra also very nicely. Yesterday, someone asked, I think Swati Mataji asked this question, that should we treat, what about the non-devotees who come to our home? What about the other relatives who may not be practicing Krishna consciousness? So it's not that we should only treat the Brahmanas nicely. Here, it's so clear, even the Shudra he treated with respect. Remembering Hari, Harim Smaran. He offered great respect and he offered the best he had. What was the best he had? The food. He was practically penniless. And the best he had got was the food, which he gave a portion to the Brahmana and satisfied his hunger. Now the hungry Shudra has come. He could have said no, right? He had the choice. Every moment we have a choice. He could have said no. He could have said that I'm more hungry than you. 48 days I have been fasting. My family is more hungry than you. We need this food more than you. But actually he was remembering the Supreme Lord. So he shared the portion of food with the Shudra. He was not seeing poor or rich, Brahmana or Shudra. He was seeing a representative of God has come. He is the Amsha, Vibhinamsha. We are eternally separated part and parts of the Supreme Lord. Ishvara Sarvasya Cham Hridis Sannivishto. The Lord is present in everyone's heart. I was hearing a lecture by His Grace Radhesham Prabhu on this topic. When Dhruva Maharaj's brother was killed by the Yakshas, the Yakshas started killing everyone. Then Dhruva Maharaj started to kill the Yakshas. But not only that Yaksha, he started to kill everyone. And at that point, Brahma had to intervene that no, actually it's Ati Krodha is not good. Krodha is good. Okay, you did justice to your brothers, the people who punished or caused harm to your brother. But now you remember that they also have the same spirit soul which you have. They're also the Amsha of the Supreme Lord. So at that point, Brahma had to intervene, and then Dhruva came back to his study or dhira. Pandita Samadarshi, equal vision. Whether it's a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Shudra, Vaishya, or what to speak of even a lower class than Shudra, which we're going to read in the following verses. So point is that he was very, very self-realized. Only a great self-realized soul can do that. It's not easy. So let's see. This is the guest number 2. Let's see what happens further in the story of Rantidev. Sorry. Anyone wants to read this text number 8? Yes, Kashish Mataji.
Ji Prabhuji, Hare Kṛṣṇa, and Pranam all devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text number 8. Yate Shudre Tama Anyo Agada Titishvabhiravrataha Rajan Me Diyatamannam Saganaya Vabhushyate. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When the Shudra went away, another guest arrived, surrounded by dogs, and said, O king, I and my company of dogs are very hungry. Please give us something to eat. So here we see Prabhuji, now after the Brahmana left, Lord has arrived in the form of Shudra to test the king. So this is my understanding, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Back to you, Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So first, humans, the highest class of human brahmanas, then Shudra. Now the dogs have come. Now this is really a big test because he's also hungry. It's not that he has eaten food yet. It's a very, very challenging situation, very, very kind of a reversal. So let's see how he faced that tough situation. Yes, Vipul Prabhu, want to read?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Adoration devotees, Dhanvat Pranam, all goes to Śrīla Prabhupada, text 9. Sha advrita vasishtam yad bohumano puraskritam tascha datta namaschakre shabhavasya sa patiyo vibhu. Translation by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai. With great respect, King Nandinal offered the balance of the food to the dogs and the master of the dogs, who had come as guests. The king offered them all respects and obeisances. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Wow, this is extraordinary. So already a portion of the food was gone. The first portion was gone to the Brahmana. Whatever was left, a significant portion was gone to the Shudra. Now here we see he offered the balance of the food, like whatever was remaining. Avashishtam, the remnants, whatever was the remainder of the food after giving to the Brahmana and the Shudra were fed, then he gave to the dogs. There were multiple dogs, looks like. And not only he gave it, giving is one thing, but how he gave to the dogs, the same way he gave to the Brahmana. The word used is adar, adritya. The same word was used in text number 6 also, if we notice, adritya, with great honor. So he didn't say, hey, why the hell you came? Now only little was left for me and my family, and now you have come to even take that. He treated the dogs also with such high, because they are also children of God. They also have the spirit soul. They are also conscious, although they may be in a lower species, but so what? They have come to ask, I must give. So with a lot of respect, he gave the remnants, whatever the balanced food was, he gave to he did the dogs as also as the representatives, or they are also seeing them in also connection to the Supreme God. Vidya vinay sampanne brahmane gavihastina shuni cheva shapakecha pandita samadarshina. Whether a brahmana or an elephant or a dog, and what to speak, a dog eater even. So here we see guest number 3. So guest number 3 were the dogs and their master. Guest 2 was the Shudra in text 7, and guest number 1 was the Brahmana, text number 6. So let's see now. There is a time of great challenge for him. Let's go into his shoes. He's 48 days of hunger, and still giving practically all the food he had, he gave to different portions to different guests. And therefore we see that Prabhupada mentioned this again and again, the greatness of a person is tested in provoking situations. When one has a lot of food and one gives a little bit, it's good, very nice, very charitable disposition, but not so great when compared to what Rantidev did. Of course, we cannot imitate it. We discussed that yesterday also, but at least we can take inspiration from, or try to follow into at least the mood not the details, but the principles at least. Yes, Sudhir Prabhu, you want to read text 10?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, devotees, and Pranam. All blessed to Śrīla Prabhupada. Text number 10. Paniya matram uchesam tachika paritarpanam ashyata kulakso abhyagat apodehi asu yaye me. Translation and purport. Translation by His Divine Grace V.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai.
Thereafter, only drinking water remained, and
Little loudly.
there was only enough to satisfy one person. But one king was just about to drink it.
But when the king,
When the king was just about to drink it, a Chandala appeared and said, "O king, although I am low-born, kindly give me some water, drinking water." Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you. So here we can see how Ranti Dev, he had only water left, but even that also, a Chandala person, comes and asks. So after 48 days, and he got prasadam. Prasadam is gone, and now water is also gone. Back to Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Sudhir Prabhu and Rama Prabhu for so nicely reading. One thing which I kind of forgot to mention in this last verse was this word, really struck me afterwards. Bahumana puraskritam. Puraskar means, we know this, puraskar is prize. So he gave the prize of bahumana. Bahu means a lot. Mana is respect. Again, respect an other with great honor, with great respect. To whom? To the dogs. Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. We discussed this verse multiple times. His Grace and Nityaṁ Prabhu and Rukmini Mataji also were sharing. That is the way we can always remember Krishna. When we give great respect to everyone, and Antya is showing the Bahuman, not just little respect. What to speak of disrespect? He's not giving disrespect. He's not unhappy. He is giving a lot of respect to the dogs. And he is giving the food with great respect and veneration. And now, pani matram. What was left was pani. That means water. And he gave that also. Paritarpanam. And then, was this about to? Okay, he was about to satisfy with water. Then suddenly came a Chandala. Chandala basically means a dog eater, one who eats the flesh of dog. And he asked, can you please give me water? Now it's guest number 4, the Chandala. Now food is all gone to the first 3 guests. Let's see if he gives water or no. Text 11. Yes, Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna to all devotees. Dandavat Pranam. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Tasyatam karuna vacham nishyamya vipula shramam rupaya brusha-santapta idamaha mrutam vachaha. Translation. Aggravated at hearing the pitiable words of the poor, fatigued Chandala, Maharaj Rantideva spoke 2 following nectarian words. Purport. Maharaja Rantideva's words were like amrita or nectar, and therefore, aside from the rendering bodily service to an aggravated person by words alone, the king could save the life of anyone who might hear him. Thank you, Prabhuji. Back to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Guruji. So many wonderful qualities are seen in this verse of this great self-realized soul, Maharaj Rantidev. Is his kripaya, his compassion. What did Chandala say? I am ashubhaya. I am very ashubh. I'm not so auspicious. I'm a low class. I'm low born Chandala. So please give me some water. So basically he could sense these were the pitiable words. Seeing paradukha dukhi. Another quality we see in when we see the suffering of other, our heart should break. To see others suffering, to see if anyone is going through a difficult time, a devotee cannot see that and tries one's best to do something about it, irrespective of whether they are Chandala, they are Indian, American. One should try one's best to help others. This is what we see here. Another quality which we see here, paradukha dukhi, the compassion. Idam amritam vachaha. The words he spoke, he refers to Rantidev, were like Amrit. Now remember, he has not eaten for 48 days. And whatever he was about to eat, that is also gone. All that is left is only water, which this Chandala has asked for. Will we be provocated in this situation? I would be, certainly. I'm not at that level. Right? Very difficult. What do you think, Lakshay? Is it easy? Or is it a very difficult situation?
It's a very difficult situation.
Right? He's very hungry. His family is very hungry. The food is all gone. Whatever were remnants were still, those also gone. The Brahmana, the Shudra, then the dogs. Now the only water is left. At that point, what comes out, what is in the heart will come out. Is what is Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj used to say, that whatever is inside comes outside. If we have compassion, love, care, kindness, gratitude, when provoking situations will come, which is certainly coming in this situation, in the life of Rantidev, it's very, very provoking situation, very difficult situation. But his heart is full of nectar. So nectarian words like Amrit are coming out. His heart is full of compassion. So he can't see the suffering. Aggrieved by hearing the pitiable words of the poor fatigued Chandala. He's not thinking, oh, I'm so fatigued, I am so tired, I am so hungry. He's seeing that his concern is much million times more than me. So what's coming out of his heart? Amrit. What will come from someone who has greed, envy, anger in a provoking situations? Those things come out. Here we see the classic example in the story of Devyani Sarmishta. We saw a lot of tit for tat going on, tit for tat. She spoke harsh words, the other one spoke harsh words. He said this, you said this, and ultimately never goes to a good thing. But here we see, rather than tit for tat, he could have very well said that, go out of here, sorry, this is the only thing, I need to drink some water, otherwise food we don't take one day. I think one devotee was telling, maybe someone knows the statistics, how many days we can remain without food. Who knows? Laksha knows. Without eating any food item.
14 days maybe.
14 days? Maybe.
3 days.
Yeah, I was thinking close to 4 or 5 days. How many days we can live without water? What do you think, Laksha?
1 or 2 days.
Yeah. So the number is certainly less. Everyone agrees to that? I don't know the exact numbers, but the number of days one can live without water is certainly less than number of days one can live without food, right? Everyone should universally agree to that. So having not even been getting chance to drink water is now very difficult. Already gone to severe austerities, but they're carrying Amrit, and now this Amrit like words are coming. So we can learn here, not tit for tat, but tolerate that. We can learn about the compassion. We can learn about the paradukha dukhi. And we can learn so many wonderful qualities here from Maharaj Rantidev here. Any other comments, thoughts, additions here before we move and hear those nectarian words? Shritar Mataji, you want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Na kamaye aham gatim ishvarat param astardhi yuktam apunar bhavam va aritim prapadye akhile deha bhajam antaha stito yena bhavanti adhukaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. I do not pray to the Supreme Personality of Godhead for the 8 perfections of mystic yoga, nor for salvation from repeated birth and death. I want only to stay among all the living entities and suffer all the distresses on their behalf, so that they may be freed from suffering. Vasudev Datta made a similar statement to Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, requesting the Lord to liberate all living entities in his presence. Vasudev Datta submitted that if they were unfit to be liberated, he himself would take all their sinful reactions and suffer personally so that the Lord might deliver them. A Vaishnava is therefore described as being paradukha dukhi, very much aggrieved by the sufferings of others. As such, a Vaishnava engages in activities for the real welfare of human society. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, back to you.
Comments, Mataji? Thank you for reading. You have in this from this text. Want to share any realizations, reflections?
Can you put the text back, please? Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. So here we are saying that the Vaishnavas, they are very, what do you say? I'm trying to think of the word, like the English word for paradukhe dukhi. They're very compassionate towards the others, and he is praying here that not only all the living entities, like he's not praying for like the different ways that are described to achieve perfections like mystic yoga, salvation from repeated birth and death. Is asking that he should get all the distress on their behalf so they may be freed from suffering. So just being very compassionate. You can add more, Prabhuji. Back to you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Very nice. These are the nectarian Amrit Vachaha being spoken by the great king, and look at the situation he is in, where this nectar is coming out of from his heart. I do not pray for any desires. A lot of people want wealth, name, fame, recognition, Ashta Siddhi, Ashtariddhi, Siddhi, Anima, Mahima, Lagima, Prapti. I do not pray for salvation from repeated birth and death. A pure devotee does not even pray that Krishna take me out of this clutches of suffering, out of suffering as there, repeated birth and death. No. The pure devotee does not even ask for it. He does not say, take me out of this material world. Rather, a pure devotee says that until all the living beings are gone, until their sufferings are gone, I will continue to be here, staying among them. Antah stitah. Until by which they can become without distress. So very nice mood of compassion and outreach, preaching, sharing. Why did Prabhupada come to United States? To get some green card, visa, wealth, followers? Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam vajagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishwari bhavatat bhakti rahetu kito. That's the mood of Lord Chaitanya. That's the same mood we see here. Not aspiring for wealth, fame, profit, adoration, but could not see the suffering of others. And to remove that suffering, I'm willing to take repeated birth again and again. That's what Rantidev is saying. Vasudev Datta, Prahlad Maharaj, same mood. Lord, I'm not eager to go back home, back to God. Because one time one devotee was named Bhavananda. So Bhav means this world, Bhavasagar. Ananda means happiness. So what is the Ananda in this world? The only Ananda in this world is to share the joy of Krishna consciousness with others who are suffering, who have forgotten. And this is real compassion. So we have to be an instrument of Prabhupada's compassion, the compassionate mood he had. One time in London, downtown London, we know how downtowns are so busy, and especially of such a important country and city, London and New York. These are very, very busy towns. So people were running hither and thither, briefcase, laptop, nice tuxedos, very, everyone has nice job and very wealthy people in external eyes, nice suits and gowns and whatnot. But Prabhupada was crying. The car was passing through. So Prabhupada had tears in his eyes. And someone asked later, Prabhupada, was everything okay? It was in the peak of the day, like the noon sun is so hot, but people were running hither, thither. And Prabhupada was asked, like, what happened? And Prabhupada replied later that they could not see the suffering of others. They are struggling so hard, prakriti sthane karshati, so hard for material existence. Just to get the food, struggling so hard. So Prabhupada was literally crying to see the suffering of others. And that's the only reason he came. Ignoring his own health, ignoring his own well-being, in the Jaladuta cargo ship, in the suffering heart attacks on the way, seasickness, and multiple challenges, life-threatening situations multiple times, only for the sake of others. That's paradukha dukhi. That's karuna. That's the kripa. And that's the nectar. And they're eager to give the nectar like Rantidev. So that is the real welfare activity. And especially this month of Damodar is coming. So we must also try to imbibe the spirit and share this real spirit of compassion, that there are a lot of people in the world who may not think that they are suffering. A lot of people are going through suffering. We should try to help there as well. A lot of people don't think that they are suffering, like Prabhupada saw. And ordinary people will think, wow, they have nice job, nice tuxedos, nice suit, boot, everything. But Prabhupada could see the real suffering. So a Vaishnava engages in the activities of the real welfare for human society. So this month of Damodar, which is starting day after tomorrow, so everyone should try their best to inspire more and more people to take the mercy of Lord Sri Damodara. Any other comment? This verse is very important, and Ranti Dev's inspiration, aspiration, or desire. So read one more verse and see what happens further. Yes, do you read, Lakshay?
No, Prabhuji.
Please.
Jishu Trit Shramo Gatra Paribrashpramascha Dynasty Klama Shoka Vishadda Moha Sarva Nivrita Kripan Nasya Janto Jijivasor Jiva Jalar Panan Me. Translation: by offering my water to maintain the life of this poor Chandala who is struggling to live, I have been freed from all hunger, thirst, fatigue, trembling of the body, moroseness, distress, lamentation, and delusion. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very, very powerful words here. So in short, he gave the last some ounces of water he had to this poor Chandala who was struggling to live. That was the only thing he had. The only thing Ranti Dev had after 48 days of hunger was some water. All the other food was gone. But the biggest, one of the very important phrase we devotees mention, in giving we receive. In giving we receive. When we give love to others, love will come. When we give anger to others, anger will come. We speak harsh words to others, it will come multi-folds back. But when we share kindness, love, gratitude, that will come. So here, by serving others, Ranti Dev was free from, he gave without hesitation again. Maybe should I give, should I not, what will happen, maybe should I give just one drop so I can give the tag of giving also, without hesitation. Whatever he had, he gave. Each word is very deep to meditate upon here, because he was, and in this way, he was very was free from all the moroseness, distress, lamentation, and illusion. This is a very important lesson, dear Vaishnavas, especially in these days. A lot of people are going through depression, hypertension, dissatisfaction, etc., etc. The real formula to overcome those challenges is to help others. Very simple. What is depression? One is so caught up in one's own life. Hey, my life, this is not good, that is not good. I earn X dollars, my friend earns 5X dollars. Hare Baba, there are millions of people who don't even have food to eat. You are worrying about X dollars or 1000X dollars, whatever. At least you don't have to worry about whether you'll eat tonight or not. For millions of people, it's a question. Will they eat tonight or not? Will they have shade on their head tomorrow or not? But sometimes a living being may be so caught up in one's own dissatisfaction cycle, and then they go in depression. So depression is basically a form of selfishness, that this is not working right. This is not working right. I didn't get that job. I didn't get that girl or boy. I didn't get that thing. I didn't get that. So one of the biggest ways to overcome depression, mental anxiety, is to help others. And in giving, we will receive. So a very practical lesson in this day and age: the more we selflessly try to help others. Raise your hand if you have experienced this. When we selflessly try to help others, by giving some prasad, by giving some book, by giving charity, without any agenda, we feel happy, right? Have you experienced that in any way or form? When we selflessly, with no hidden agenda, try to do something positive in someone's life. It could be giving food, it could be, and so many hands are up, and that's very true. I was hearing Amogila Prabhu was mentioning that in Gurdwaras, you see very aristocrat millionaires. They go in the Gurdwara and they polish the shoes. It gives happiness to them. It's a selfless act of service. So even in the life of Sindhutai Satkal, she was. Radhanath Maharaj gives the story that she was tortured mentally, emotionally, physically, sexually, financially, in everything. What she underwent, we would never hope in our dreams anyone goes through. It's a real story. She was about to give up her life. She was quite young, 20, 21 years, and had a daughter, which was an infant, a few months old, on the railway station, living like a beggar. And then she saw, it's a real story, this is not some fiction. She saw there was a branch of a tree which was about to fall down. It was broken, but not fully cut. And then she realized this branch is about to break off, but this branch is giving shade. Then she learned a lesson from that branch, that although this branch is about to break down, but in that moment of breaking down also, she's somehow hanging there and giving shade to me. My life is like that. A lot of challenges I have gone through, a lot of ups and downs I have gone through. So I can now become a cause of shade to others, or I can just cry about it, right? Will crying about it help it to solve it? Certainly not. So then she decided there are a lot of orphans, people on these railway stations. The children, people somehow leave their children there, which they don't want or whatever. So I'll take care of them. And then she opened up gradually. So many things happened, and then she opened up an orphanage where thousands of children grew up. They became doctors, engineers, they got degrees, etc. And now she has children, grandchildren, and still it's a real story. So the point is, in giving we receive. He gave water to poor Chandala, and it was his hunger, his thirst, his lamentation, his illusion, moroseness, the trembling of the body was gone. In giving, we receive. Any other devotee wants to add any comment here? Or share any thoughts?
Prabhuji, I also heard about that, and Maharaj said that, who his husband actually abused him, right? So at the end, he was also, very challenged. He was deceased, and she actually took care of him as a son, as a mother. she took care of him. That was very heart touching.
Yeah. And then it's a great lesson over there that, and then she introduced that yes, you can stay in the orphanage, not as the husband, but as a child. And then she introduced to everyone, well, you see, we have a new child. He's the oldest child, and he's very naughty. So the point is that the person who tortured him to the greatest extent, and she had no envy in her heart towards that person, rather trying to help. That's when he was in a crisis moment. So great qualities we can learn from these great examples here. And all his moroseness, his distress was gone. So very deep to meditate upon. So we can meditate upon that today, and we'll read the following verses from text 14 maybe tomorrow. So we'll wrap up here. Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Puran ki Śrī Caitanya Maharaj ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Samavita Gaur Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo. Thank you so much. Hari Bol.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare Bol.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandapranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.